thank you for watching this video. In today's video, we're going to do a mock test in Tottenham with Philip. Philip's been learning with another instructor, and I'll let him tell you what his experience is so far.
Okay, so I've had a couple of lessons with my instructor, but well, a lot, not a couple. For about like 40 hours, and I do driving with my mum as well. So yeah,
Cool.
I've got my driving test tomorrow, so I'm just seeing if I'm up to the test standards.
Cool. So basically 40 hours, just to put it into context. I know a lot of you are probably thinking that's a lot. It's not. Okay, the national average is 69 hours. Okay, so you're under two-thirds of the amount of national average. Okay, so don't stress about the amount of hours at all. Yes, there's always going to be people that are quick. There's also going to be people that are slower. Okay, so for instance, my fastest ever was 12.5 hours. My slowest was 120. Okay, so it completely depends. Yes, I teach clients with SEN, physically disabled, deaf clients. To put it into context, both the quickest and the longest of my clients were both SEN. Okay, obviously you can tell the difference in the range, and that's why we never really paint everyone with the same brush, because no one's the same. You also mentioned sat-nav, not a massive fan of.
Oh yeah. So I tend to get distracted following sat-nav because I focus so much on what the sat-nav is saying, and not my surroundings.
Yeah, so what I've suggested is basically not just to listen to it, but also to have a little look as well. So we'll see how that goes. We've only had a few minutes of getting used to the vehicle really for the moment. And the car he's also been driving is smaller than this car. This car is pretty much a tank compared to the other two cars, but you were really good with the rest of the drive and position as well. Like I said, a little bit to the right hand side, but that is probably simply down to the width of the car. All right, so same rules apply. Test lasts 38 to 40 minutes. During that time, one manoeuvre plus possibly the emergency stop. If I say nothing, assume I want you to go straight or follow the road signs. If you're not sure, you are allowed to ask me to repeat. Okay, so whenever you're ready, we'll drive on and we are going to follow the sign. Philip starts with brilliant observations here, really clear blind spot checks. So exactly what the examiner wants to see as a preliminary start to that test. Now, not much happens at the beginning of this test simply because of the amount of traffic. So we're going to fast forward to where the good stuff starts. Philip's change of direction mirror checks here are very good. Great first signs. Unfortunately, he does pick up his first driver fault, and it's for something he mentioned before. You'll see my facial expression as he goes past this black car. He cuts in far too early. Always give yourself a 1 metre gap or a door length to avoid that from being a problem. So there he picks up a fault for clearance to obstructions.
Turn right.
In this situation, Philip has the priority as he doesn't have to give way lines, but the vehicles coming from his right does. There is no one behind, so it's not really too much of an issue, but to avoid any headache, go as long as you can see that there's no one cutting you up. Really good planning here to allow the bus to come through. On top of that, as you'll see when he pulls away, he'll also check his mirrors as well. So very, very good.
Turn right, Shaftesbury Road, then turn left.
hats off to the Seat driver here. As you can see, the Audi 4x4 has reversed back to the point where no one can fit. The Seat driver has been sensible, reversed the car back to allow traffic to proceed. If only everyone was as sensible as that.
After 80 yards, turn left, Commercial Road. Turn left.
Philip picks up a driver fault for junctions turning left. He turns a little bit too early and runs over the pavement with the rear left wheel. There weren't any pedestrians, so it's not a big problem. If there were, then that would have been a serious. But we'll also take into account this is a much longer vehicle than the one he will be driving in his test tomorrow, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But remember, take that into account, that you need to either turn later or from a wider position to compensate for the length of your car.
Turn left.
Tell you what, let's go left here because of the amount of traffic.
Just gonna edge for it a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna not do the sat nav for the time being. Okay. We
After
will
100
turn
yards.
right at Roundabout, third exit. And it's worth noting that the examiner can also do that. So if the route is so heavily congested, they can change it mid-test. This shows Philip's great awareness. You can see the pedestrian approaching the zebra crossing on the right hand side. He slows down, takes his time, leans forward, makes sure it's safe before he commits. Absolutely brilliant bit of planning there and great awareness. That is exactly what the examiner wants to see. Again, well done. It's also worth noting that Philip's not actually from North London, he's from South, so he doesn't really know these roads too well. The Great Cambridge is obviously something that a lot of people fear when it comes to Tottenham with green test routes, and since you're up here, I think it's only right that we get you on there just to basically get you to understand what it's about. So we are going to do the Great Cambridge Roundabout on this route. Not quite in the way that we were hoping to. We would have come from the A10 southbound on this particular test route that we were planning, but due to the congestion we're going to have to do it this way instead. So when we come off the exit, we're going to be coming to the Great Cambridge Roundabout, and I want you to be in the right lane to prepare for a right turn. Okay, so what I would suggest from here is stick to that white line like glue from now. So if you get yourself a little bit more over to the right hand side, so keep moving across, that's it, and just stay next to the white line but not touching it. So you can stay in this lane.
This lane?
Mm-hmm. But I want you just to stay right next to this white line.
Oh, okay.
So you see how people are trying to jump the queue?
Yeah.
So it just basically stops that from being as likely. Okay. And the examiner will help you in this situation as well. This is the problem: when people don't want to queue, they end up driving down the centre as far as they possibly can, then cutting in at the last possible second, i.e. that car that's gone over the hatch markings further up front. And doing that right behind in front of a truck, that truck's having to slam the brakes on to make evasive action. We'll come back to this when we get to the Cambridge Roundabout. Ideally, Philip should have stayed in this lane, but instead he moves into the right lane, which then means he's one lane too far to the right for the exit. But what you'll then see is that he does actually go the wrong direction, and as you've probably seen on my other videos, that is not an issue as long as you do everything correctly, safely and legally for the direction that you've gone. So we have gone the wrong direction, don't worry, we were due to take that exit there. But we'll come off at this junction anyway, and then at the next set of traffic lights we're going to be turning left. I know the people cutting from lane 3 to the exit don't help, but Philip's speed doesn't help either. If he was quicker, he would be ahead of them and ahead of the truck that's on his left. Instead, he's stuck in lane 2. Now, yes, I agree, he shouldn't have really moved into lane 1 when the traffic light changed to red, because then the truck will have to brake harder than they probably expected. That truck is not a Ferrari, and as soon as that traffic light goes to amber, he needs to introduce that power. Now, the truck did power up quite quick, but you can see his speed is excessively slow. People then start to undertake him, and they won't let him move in front of them because he is going too slow. Now, like we just said on the Cambridge Roundabout, if you do go the wrong direction, that's not a problem. So I would just carry on driving in that lane and forget about it. Instead, he slows down all of the traffic behind him, causing people to beep and to take action to avoid him, and therefore it gets marked down as a serious fault for planning. Please remember, if it is not safe to come off the junction or you're slowing down traffic in order to be able to make your turn, it is not safe. Just continue to drive, it is not an issue. Right, to park on the left, one car left before the white car, please. Thank you. And drive on when safe to do so, please. Philip also picks up a driver fault here for use of mirrors change your speed. Remember, you should always check your rear view mirror when you're approaching anything that's going to cause you to slow down or potentially cause you to slow down. He does really well to acknowledge that the crossroads was there, but he just needs that preventative mirror check to make sure it's safe. Right. Yeah, gonna hit that van there. Okay, bit more to the right first of all. So let's watch that again. So you can see that Philip is going diagonally to the left instead of staying parallel with the road. Then just before he actually really clears their van, he then steers left now. And that is way too early. I've had to hit the dual brake in order to not hit. The wing mirror and the back corner of that van, the gap is around 3 to 4 centimetres. It is tiny. And ideally we should be a metre. Remember though, like when he hit the curb before, the front of the vehicle might clear, but the back doesn't. The back cuts across. So the back door to the boot would have all basically struck that van, and you would have had massive dents, scratches, an insurance claim as well. So remember, stay parallel, keep it well away, and only then once you've gone at least half your car length past that last parked vehicle, do you then start to want to move back to the left-hand side. Don't worry about it. Okay, just drive on, imagine that's not happened. Lights ahead, turn left, please. take the next road on the left, please. And park on the right for me before the white BMW. Do your manoeuvre now. So I'd like you to reverse back 2 car lengths, keeping it close to the curb. Thank you. And drive on when safe to do so, please. Thank you. And then park on the left before the grey car. Try to keep the driveway open if you can. So, how do you feel that went?
Bad.
Okay, why?
Because I think the first one was I think when you was going off this road and the sat nav told me to like turn right. I was late, so I just slammed on the brakes and signaled right to turn right. Also, I could have gone straight ahead.
Okay.
Right down there.
Yeah, so you saw the black car that was coming from the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you reacted, didn't you?
Yeah.
So it's not an issue.
Okay.
At the absolute most, you might get a driver fault for observations or approach speed, depending on what the examiner felt was the cause of that particular issue. It could be response to road markings, it could be response to signs. Personally, though, there was no one behind us. You wasn't exceeding the giveaway line. Okay, you did your observations, you saw that person. I didn't even mark it down as a driver fault.
Oh, okay.
So there, something that you thought you'd failed for,
Yeah.
you actually didn't even get a driver fault for a minor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that being said, do you feel there was anything else that?
Yeah. I think the roundabout.
Okay.
The first try, I think I went the wrong way.
Okay. Is that an issue?
I know. Yeah. It's not. Oh.
No. Again, you did your mirrors, you did your signal correctly for the direction that you've gone. Yes, you've gone the wrong way, but a U-turn or a complete turn is a mirror, right signal in the right lane, time off the exit. A U-turn is effectively just an exaggerated right turn, which is what you were telling people you were doing. You didn't exit signal and then continue past the exit. You exit signaled after the exit. That's when I then said to you, just to let you know, we have gone the wrong way here, but don't worry about it. And that's something to remember. If the examiner is saying, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Okay?
It's just something you said not to make me nervous or something. Like,
It could well be, but going the wrong way is not an issue on the test. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
I had a client a long time ago. I'm not going to mention her name, but she has become a Kiss Radio DJ since. She hated the reverse corner, which was an exercise that was asked back in the day.
Oh, what's that?
Okay, exactly. All right, some instructors don't even teach it. Okay, it's basically when you have to reverse into a road. Okay, so you've got to keep it within a certain amount of distance as you reverse around that junction or that turn. Now, the road that she was going on to, she knew she was going to get that manoeuvre, and she hated it with a passion. So she said to the examiner, said turn left, and she thought, oh, I'm not going down that road. Mirror, mirror, right signal, turn right. Okay.
Yeah.
The examiner said, remember, returning left. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, there's a car behind. It's too late to give to turn left. He goes, okay, don't worry about it. We'll turn right. So they've gone right.
Yeah.
They've gone round the block because he said, look, don't worry about it. We need to go there because we're doing a manoeuvre. So now she's thinking, oh, no, I'm not getting that manoeuvre.
No.
So then when he asked for her to turn right, she then turned left. And again, there was a car behind, so it wasn't enough time. And he said, don't worry about it. We'll park up here. We'll do the turn in the road, which was the 3-point turn, which is a manoeuvre that you used to be asked to do.
Yeah.
As a result, she then passed her driving test.
That's it.
There. I'm not condoning to do that, just to put that clear. But if you go the wrong direction, it is not that detrimental. Okay, as long as you do everything correctly and safely for the direction you've gone. Okay, and if you're watching, you know who you are. So anything else?
Yeah, the van. Nah, I was gonna hit the van. That's the thing.
When I stopped you,
Yeah.
did you still think you were going to hit that van, or do you think you were going to clear it?
I thought I was gonna clear it, to be honest.
Okay. When you looked on that left-hand side, how close was the wing mirror to the van?
Tiny bit. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what you need to remember is you're already in steer. Okay, so you've already put turn on. Now, the back cuts across compared to the front. Okay, so what we're going to do shortly is a little experiment just to show you that. Okay, but the back wheels don't follow exactly the same path as the rear. Okay, they always cut. So I agree, the front of the car wasn't going to hit, but by us being as close as we were to the wing mirror, the back more than likely will.
Oh, okay.
Also, out of curiosity, how far should we be from parked vehicles?
I'm not sure. 1 meter.
Good. Yeah. So we should always keep a 1 door length or 1 meter distance. That definitely was not a meter.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you weren't going to hit it, it would still be a driver fault. And you did pick up 3 of those. Okay. So you do drive too close to the left-hand side. Okay. So we need to get you to shift your position over. That being said, when it comes to meeting scenarios, you're actually normally really good. So don't be shy to give way. Okay. Instead of trying to squeeze through, yeah, just hold it back. Okay. Not worth the headache. Anything else that stands out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So shortly after that, okay, driver fault wise, we then did a left turn. Sorry, was it after that or before that? I think it was before.
After did the left hand onto the dual carriageway.
Yeah, it was before. So basically, earlier on, there was a left turn that we did when we were following sat nav. When you turned left, the back wheels went over the pavement.
Oh yeah, I felt it hit the pavement. I don't know if it hit or it went over it. I felt it was.
That's it, and that's exactly what we just mentioned. So the front wheel didn't hit, the back did. So we can see where that would be an issue. If that curb was now a van, front's missed, back's not. Okay. Planning awareness. So this was when we came off the roundabout the first time. I said that we've gone the wrong way. Don't worry about it. Traffic lights ahead. We're going to be turning left. So we need to get into that left lane. Now the problem that you've got is instead of accelerating and getting ahead of that truck, you're slowing down and waiting for that truck to give way. Okay. That truck does not want to slow down. Okay.
Because I was thinking, I didn't know how close the truck was, to be honest, because obviously I thought I saw it here, but you know this one is what's it called, convex or something, so it's not the exact thingy. So
Good. Yeah. So the side mirrors are convex, so they make things look further away and smaller than they are.
Yeah.
Which mirror is flat?
I think this one.
Good. Judge it by that. For those of you that haven't watched this video yet, okay, sounds like you haven't. Watch motorways. Okay, on the motorways video, I will describe how you can tell it's safe to change lane. For basically in that video, it makes it very clear cut because I put little green ticks and red crosses to show when you can change lane, when you can't, and also you'll see little triangle signs with exclamation marks to say there's a warning, something that you need to be aware of. This is the key. Okay, if you can see the vehicle that you're moving in front of in the rear view mirror, they're far enough behind you that it's safe to change lane.
Oh, okay.
If you can't see them there and you can only see them in the side mirror, you can only change lane if you can see they're keeping the same distance or they're flashing you to go. But please remember, flashing is not an official sign in the highway code, and you still have to be aware of any motorcyclists that may be trying to go past in between the gap. Okay? But what you're doing is slowing down, and that's making it worse because your speed off the line was good. You got to say 20 miles per hour. That truck is now very slowly going 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's a truck, it's not Ferrari. It's not going to be building up any speed. Now, yes, a lot of trucks now are automatic. A lot of them are still manual. Okay?
Yeah.
For those of you that are learning to drive in a manual car, there's normally 5 gears. In a truck, normally anywhere between 15 and 30.
15.
Okay, they have half gears, high range, low range. They do not want to be changing down gears when it's just taken them 15 minutes to get through those gears in the first place. So if you get your speed up, so you're doing 20, you now get to 25, he's still only doing 13, 14. You've now got the freedom to move across. If you slow down, you're waiting for him to build up his speed and catch you. Now you can't move. Okay, obviously don't get too close to the car in front. Make sure you're keeping to the speed limits, but when you are trying to change lane, slowing down is normally the last resort. And because where you did then slow down to such an extreme in that lane, causing everyone else behind to basically take evasive action, that's where that fault was. So in hindsight, at that point, what could we have done?
I mean, could have like either continued or just accelerate or something like that.
Accelerate to either get ahead of the truck, but if we can't now get ahead of the truck, what should we do?
Continue straight ahead.
Yeah, go the wrong direction, because as we know, we are allowed to go the wrong direction. It's not an issue. Okay, so that picked up another serious fault. Okay. Change of speed mirrors. You do check your 3 mirrors when you accelerate. You don't often check your rear view mirror when you're slowing down. Okay, so remember, you should always check your rear view mirror for active, potential, or progressive hazards. Have you heard of that term before?
Nope.
Cool. Again, gotta watch my video on mirrors. It's what I call app. Okay, it's my own way of teaching it. As far as I know, again, no instructors really use that method. Hopefully they do, because it makes a lot of sense. An active hazard, something that's going to 100% make you slow down or stop. Potential hazards, things that may make you slow down or stop. And a progressive hazard is something that wasn't active or a potential hazard, which has now changed to either an active or another potential hazard. So you're always just updating your rear view. Also, just in general, check your rear view mirror every 4, 5, 6 seconds. Knowledge is power, as they say. So the more you know what's going on behind you, the more power you have, because you can then control what your speed, your position does to make the people behind you be safe. Okay. So not a huge amount of faults, to be fair. You got 3, 4, 5, 6 driver faults, and 2 serious faults. So good drive. The other thing that was really good was the zebra crossing. Very impaired vision on the right hand side. You slowed the car right the way down because you saw the pedestrian nice and early. And I could see the moment you clocked that pedestrian, because you came off the gas straight away, and you came off of it only slightly later than I did. So your reaction there, very, very good. Your preparation and awareness to that pedestrian for that zebra crossing was at a much higher standard than most. So very good aspects as well. I apologise it wasn't the same test route that we were hoping to do. Obviously the traffic was bad. We still managed to do the Cambridge Roundabout a couple of times though. So hopefully that's helped. We're going to do a little bit of sort of experimenting just to show you about that left cutting in. But hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow that little bit of advice will help out. All right. Helpful?
Yeah, it is. It actually is. But I feel like driving in Tottenham is crazy, man. It's just...
Yeah, today traffic-wise was a lot worse than norm. So
okay.
even though your test is later in the day, sort of rush hour time, I doubt it would be as bad as it was today.
Okay.
But fingers crossed. Yeah, it all goes well. Now, if you found that useful, please put a comment in the comment section. Like, share like crazy. And if you'd also like to do a mock test as well, give us an email on this email here, or give me a call, text or WhatsApp on the phone number just below, and I'll help you out as much as I possibly can. We'll probably be able to get you in about sort of 2 to 3 weeks time. But all the best, and fingers crossed all goes well tomorrow. All right. See you soon.